own TikTok account this week. So, does this actually help Harris in November? We got to go straight to the source, right? We got our panel today. Gen Z commentator Link Lauren joins us now, and political strategist Rina Shah. Hello, thanks for being with us.
Hey. Thanks for having me.
Link, you're going to have to really school me on this. I must admit, I'm showing my age here. Trump is about to speak at the Bitcoin conference, and some could say that that's a play for younger voters, too. Meanwhile, Harris's team has been using social media to make voters aware of her platform and her new platforms. Social media typically caters to younger voters anyway. So is she preaching to the choir? Will this make a difference, all of this brat talk for Kamala Harris?
Well, I actually think the Kamala Harris campaign is making a grave mistake right now. They've got millions of eyeballs on them. Kamala Harris is extremely viral. But before I came on here today, I went to Kamala Harris's page. I went to the Kamala headquarters page. I didn't see any videos that actually spoke to the needs of the American people. It's great that Kamala's dancing, she's laughing, she's having a good time, she's talking about her favorite tacos. But the top concern for young Americans right now is home ownership. How am I going to be able to afford a home? We're also stressed about the national debt because that's going to fall on our shoulders, and we're $35 trillion in debt. Kamala Harris, she's curated vibes and aesthetic, but she's not really speaking to the needs of the American people. I would be making that kind of content if I were advising her campaign.
There you go. Maybe that's next. A lot of people have said that she is not likable enough and struggles, the same way that Hillary Clinton did in the past, and they want her to be more of a President Obama type. So maybe they're just trying to humanize her even more, make her seem even more cool. Rina, I want to talk to you about the female voter, right? So Donald Trump in the past, he struggled particularly with suburban women. This poll here is showing that Biden took 55% in 2020 and 44% went to Trump. But Rina, I spoke to a female voter in my home state of North Carolina this week. I want you to take a listen to what she had to say.
I think his policies were good. I wouldn't want to date him, but I thought he did a good job for the country. I thought we were safer when he was president.
She said he's safer. She said from kitchen table issues. Trump's her guy. Do you think other women feel the same?
Well, all I heard was she wouldn't want to date him. And so I got a little caught up there. Yeah, I mean, we want to love our presidents, right? We also want to feel really close to them. I mean, that's from back in the Obama Beer Summit days. But yeah, I do think there's a lot of nostalgia for the pre-pandemic economy that many American women have. And of course, we're going to have short-term memories because coming out of the pandemic and life being back to normal, you do tend to hit reset and look around you and think, well, gee, the price of daily commodities are really, really high. I myself am a mom of 3, and I inevitably end up doing some prepackaged food here and there, especially during summertime when we're busy running off to places. I also work. And so the average American is looking at that kind of prepared food and thinking, my gosh, prices have skyrocketed. But it's really important to remember American women are not a monolith. I live in a suburban area. Rural women are also feeling some of this, but their attitudes about Kamala are different because though immigration, security, and economy are all front of mind, we also think of reproductive rights and access. And that's a place where Kamala is really hammering that she is there for American women. But I also have not seen good empirical evidence recently that tells me just because we have a woman top a ticket for Democrats, are we going to see the kind of crossover we saw in 2020? I'm just not sure as yet that we can call it.
I think it's so important to always say that. No group is a monolith, right? There are always outliers, and we're just trying to look at trends here. Link, nearly 40,000 new voters registered after Biden stepped aside. So clearly people are getting more energized about this Harris-Trump matchup. Do you think this is going to die down before November? How can both parties really turn out the vote when it comes to Gen Z?
So one thing about Gen Z is what goes up must come down. I've said it for weeks now. Kamala Harris is going to come back down to earth. She's hot to trot right now. There's a big difference between virality and electoral success. Getting people to show up and actually vote for you on November 5th is a whole different beast. And this fallacy is that Kamala Harris is a great, compelling candidate when she's been in utter calamity. If you go and look back at the data, generic Democrat versus Trump, generic Democrat is doing basically what Kamala Harris is doing right now. So anybody who wasn't Joe Biden, who has a pulse, who can walk in a straight line and identifies as a Democrat would be doing what she's doing right now. The last point I have to make is this. The Democrats are touting all of this money Kamala Harris is raising. But back in 2016, Hillary Clinton spent $1.2 billion. Donald Trump spent $600 million. That's a huge difference, and Hillary Clinton still lost.
Yeah, it doesn't always come down to money, does it? But speaking of money, I want our viewers to see this, because within just 24 hours, and a lot more money has come in, but $81 million in 24 hours was raised. The Trump campaign has responded to all of this energy that's behind Kamala Harris at the moment, said, look, this is a honeymoon period, and the Trump campaign says they're going to have a strong campaign all the way until November. So, Rina, what do you think? Will that energy behind Harris last?
Well, I think Barack Obama and Michelle, they withheld their endorsement for strategic purposes related to money. Look, a lot of the delegate slates from Democratic states like North Carolina, Tennessee have pledged their full slates for Harris. But I don't think that's what Barack was waiting for. I think he wanted to wait and give her another boost of money. So whatever boost she's going to get, of course, Democrats want this honeymoon to last. They're going to be helpful. They're going to turn heads. The grassroots convenings this past week of not just Black women, women of South Asian descent, as well as white women. They've been large numbers of women getting on Zoom calls, because I think, let's be honest, we've got the vice president of the United States now saying she is running for the presidency, but also this money was kind of sitting out there waiting for Joe Biden to drop. So I'm not trying to give a ding at Kamala so much as I'm trying to say that, a lot of money was withheld. There was 3 to 4 weeks of pent up frustration from Biden not dropping. How is that not going to impact this moment? And I want to go just one step further, because we have that Bitcoin graphic on there. Yep. Democrats really missed an opportunity to be at the Bitcoin conference. We see, I'm looking at a 2024 cryptocurrency adoption and sentiment report. According to that, 40% of American adults now own crypto. That's up from 30% just last year. If you love freedom, you love decentralized finance, you're paying attention to this conference, Democrats should have sent Kamala there. She shouldn't be hanging out with an enemy of crypto right now, today, who is Elizabeth Warren, the senator there from Massachusetts.
Yeah, maybe she could have found a way to speak there, too. Who knows how all that worked out in Nashville. And we will dip in there and go there live later, we believe, when Trump starts speaking. But, Link, I want to get your take on J.D. Vance. So, he's not in the middle of a honeymoon period right now for some folks. In fact, there's a lot of social media against him. But some are saying, look, he's only 39 years old, and he's really going to resonate with these younger voters. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't know much about J.D. Vance until the last few weeks. I was openly supporting Doug Burgum, Glenn Youngkin, but J.D. Vance is definitely a play for young conservatives, young people who may have felt disenfranchised from the political elite, the Hollywood elite. I think J.D. Vance is going to speak to them. Has J.D. Vance articulated his ideas in the best way the last few years? Of course not. They're going to go dig up clips of him saying things that don't look great in the light of day in 2024. But I think J.D. Vance is learning on the fly. He's getting his sea legs right now. We'll see what happens in the next few months.
All right, there you go. Well, when I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, covering the Trump rally, I saw a lot of young people wearing a specific T-shirt that said, "I'm with the felon and the hillbilly." I don't know if there was anything behind it, why it was so many young people seeing that, but they liked that tagline, apparently. Link, Lauren, and Rina Shah, thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
11 minutes after.